just going to be copying an email that's already been created and changing various pieces of it, okay? So we'll use Miami. So to copy it, you just click this button, copy this email, and then you're going to change it to whatever the email name is. Now, please keep in mind that you're going to want to keep the city on there so we can keep track, because Eric goes through and looks at the success rate of various emails, and he needs to know which branch, which email went out for each branch, okay? Now here, you're going to change the subject line. Subject line, you never want to put free in the subject line because that's a quick way for it to get marked as spam. You also want it to include, if there is some kind of offer, you want to include general details of that offer. For example, this is half off delivery. The reason you want to include the general details of the offer is if the offer is in the subject line, it's much more likely to be opened. Okay? This from name is the name that it's going to display as who the email is from. Usually it's going to be doorstep delivery and then the name of the branch. Here you can change what email address this is actually sent from and what email address replies actually go to. For most situations, when it's just general marketing emails, you just want reply emails to go to feedback. But if we're doing some kind of specialty email like a restaurant survey, you'd want to change this email address to where you want the feedback to be. Okay? The advanced options I've never actually gotten into, so I can't tell you what what the various things actually mean. But I expect Chris will want you to delve into that more in the future once you get your legs under you. So then you just click Save and Next to move. Here you select the various email lists that you want to send this to. Now, if you're copying a email that has already been created, there are going to be email lists already selected. So if you're going to copy a Miami email to create another Miami email, you pretty much can just ignore this page because it's already going to have the lists already selected for you. Okay? Now it's going to tell you that you've selected more than one contact list. That's perfectly acceptable. It's just a heads up to make sure you're not sending it to multiple cities at once. Mm-hmm. Now here it's going to tell you that you're going to use this template that's already been created. Since you're just copying the email and the template that's already existing, just skip this step because there's no reason to change the template. Now here you can see the actual email that gets sent out. Okay. Now the way this works is pretty much just a plug and play, where each of these pieces, this header, this picture, these three buttons, this text block, anything can be changed. Okay. So to edit, all you have to do is edit the block. Now every picture, you're going to want to make sure that it is clickable and goes to the correct website. So to make sure, you just click on the picture to highlight it, hit the insert link, and it actually isn't done on here. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm looking at advertising emails, I'm not necessarily checking the links. I expect everything I click to take me to the correct site. So you just need to add the link URL. You don't need to change the image title. You don't want to add a caption. You don't need to do any of this as long as it's fitting. Okay?
Okay.
See this? You can change the image alignment. You can also resize the image, but none of this you're actually going to need to do since you're just copying the general format. Okay? Now, here is the text block. You can see that the normal text is 14 point, but the actual coupon code itself and the offer itself is bigger. We do that so it stands out much more. You're also going to want to make sure that the coupon code and the offer amount is a different color than the normal text, again, just so it stands out. Most of the details are going to be part of the image, so the text blurb you can keep very, very simple. It's just a matter of just, you know, a little blurb saying, hey, what we're celebrating, and then the details of the offer. You're also going to want to include the details of the coupon code. That way there's absolutely no confusion when it comes to the customers thinking or not knowing what the coupon is. So most of the time there's going to be a food minimum, and there's going to be an expiration date. You also are going to include that it's valid with online orders only. That's to make our customers order online as much as humanly possible, because it's cheaper for us to receive orders online than over the phone. You can also see here we have a link that'll go directly to the Miami backend. We hide the phone number here so people are less likely to call us. Again, because we don't want people to call us, we want them to deal with us online because it saves labor. Now, each of these buttons lead to the, for example, the Like Us on Facebook leads us to the Doorstep Delivery Miami Facebook page. Again, these three buttons you're not going to need to change because you're just changing the image and the text. So this is Like Us on Facebook. This is to download our Doorstep Delivery app on the App Store or Google Play. Finally, we have this header here, or I'm sorry, this footer here, which very rarely gets changed. Normally, when it gets changed, it's because the branch either lost a restaurant or gained a new big restaurant, so they want to add the logo here. Okay. When this happens, Tigris will design a new footer for you. All you need to do is just swap out this footer for the next one. This language here we need to include for legal reasons, so just never touch it, okay? Finally, the heart of changing this. Mainly what you're just going to be doing is editing text and swapping out an image. Okay, so to swap out an image, you just highlight it. Hold on a second, I'm trying to remember how to do this. Oh, there we go. And click this image button. You're going to have to upload a new image based upon what Tigris has designed. But once you upload the image, it adds it to this image gallery pool right here, okay? After you add it to this image gallery pool, you just select it, make sure the link URL is still valid, and click Insert. And it'll size it properly for you because of the way Tigris prepares the images. Okay? After that, all you have to do is save the block, save and next. And this is where you schedule it. You can schedule delivery, send immediately, or save as draft. You're mainly going to schedule delivery. Send immediately, I'm not a fan of because I've created some emails, sent them immediately, and then realized that I misspelled something. So you always want to give yourself, even if the email needs to be out immediately, schedule it for 15 minutes ahead of time, or 15 minutes in the future, just in case you go, oh, whoops, I misspelled something. Okay? To schedule the delivery, you just select the date and the time. Keep in mind that we have branches in different time zones, so you need to make sure that you're scheduling for the correct time zone. You don't want to schedule a Denver email using our time zone because then it's going to go out 3 hours too early. Okay? And then to schedule, you just press schedule. And And then you're going to repeat that for each and every branch we have. Now, to create a new email from scratch, go to Create Email. You're going to want to use the drag and drop editor because it's much easier to use than a code editor, plain text editor, classic editor. I don't know if you know HTML. I don't, and I don't think Chris does either. Eric, do you know HTML?
Just a little bit, but I wouldn't even mess with it. I'm kind of uncomfortable with doing that.
Okay, so it's not just me. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a simple drag and drop editor. You go through the exact same process as you did last time with creating a subject, making sure the from name's correct, the from email address, and the reply email address is correct. You're also going to want to change the email name to something helpful. For example, if this was a Denver email, you do Denver whatever. And then you're just going to select from here whichever email list you want to send it to. Because you're not copying an email, it's not going to have anything pre-selected, so you need to make sure you're selecting the correct email address list. And here's the drag and drop editor. Now, there's various layouts you can use depending on what you want to do. For example, Orlando likes to send out emails where they announce multiple restaurants at the same time. Because of that, it would be a picture from that restaurant and then a blurb about the restaurant. So you would use this 2x2 so you can have 4 restaurants on the email. Another layout we like to use is this 1-3 column. If they're only doing 3 restaurants, then up here you can have the header and then the text above. So mainly just pick out whichever layout works the best for what you're trying to do. Now here you can see that it tells you heading, exciting news this is where the exciting news goes. Drag and drop for various pictures or other types of files. You can see that the drag and drop editor tells you exactly what you should be using each content block for. So it's incredibly easy. Now, if you need to add a new content block, all you have to do is drag it and put it wherever it needs to go. To delete it, just hit delete. Benchmark is great because it is incredibly simple to use. As you can see, everything is perfectly laid out for you. It makes designing things easy, but the trade-off of that is there's not as many bells and whistles as something that's not as simple. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you used a email service like Benchmark before, maybe MailChimp or something along those lines?
No, nothing similar.
Okay. Now here are the buttons so you can go back to the layout if you need to change the layout, or if you want to choose one of the custom templates that they've created. This will take you back to the content block so you can edit however you need to. This will allow you to change the color schemes if you want to use a pre-selected color scheme instead of using one of your own. And this is just a simple block settings program or function, so you can change the particular settings. When you create an email from scratch, you're going to want to use the test functions. You're going to want to send a test email to yourself and your personal email address, because you're going to want to see it using 2 different email services. Because in the past, I've noticed that something that looks perfectly on on the doorstep email from GoDaddy looks completely different in the Gmail. So you're going to want to send it to at least 2 different email services just to double check it. Spam check will run a overview of the email to see how likely it is it'll be flagged as spam. Spell check is obvious. Print version, no one prints out our emails, so don't worry about that. Preview, obviously, is just going to show you, bring up a quick version of what you've created. Do not rely on this as a final version. You're going to want to send the test emails. The preview function you're going to use while you're designing to see how it's going. Okay. Now, once you have it created, you just click Save and Next, and schedule like normal. Now, I know I went through that quickly. Are there any? Do you have any questions? Do you want me to go over anything in more detail? This is for you.
Yeah, the only question I have, everything else is really clear. You said in the subject line, don't include what because it immediately goes to spam?
The word free.
Oh, did you say free or 3?
F-R-E-E.
Okay. I was like, the number 3, what? Okay.
So if we're running a special where it's free delivery, you're going to have to do some semantic gymnastics in order to avoid using the word free. I would use no delivery fee.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to include some kind of language in the subject line specifying what the offer is. So no delivery fee, a certain amount of dollars off, things of that nature.
Okay.
What else you got for me?
And that was my only question. Everything else is really clear.
See, that's the thing. That's why I love Benchmark, because you can do a lot with it, but it's very simple. I mean, even the Dragon or the basic editor tells you exactly what to put in each box.
Right.
And if you need more boxes, you select the type of box you need, and you can move it to wherever you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, what do you got? What kind of questions you got for me?
Okay, hopefully my my microphone's unmuted here and you can hear me.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I had a question. Okay, cool. I had a question about opt-ins. I was exploring other mail options a while ago, and how do we deal with opt-ins and double opt-ins and all of that? Does Benchmark do anything with that, where a customer has to approve being added to a subscription list? How do we get around that, or do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Hold on, let me get to the.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Use Jacksonville, for example.
Okay.
So
cool.
you see that they have 23,000 active contacts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That means 23,000 people have not unsubscribed yet, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there are 300 people who have opted in. What that means is they actually clicked the link that is in each email saying that they want to receive further emails. I'm not entirely sure what the not opted in yet means, but as you can see, you can click on the opt-in contacts to figure out which people have opted in. Now, what you can do with that is you can click that. Hold on just a second.
Eric, one other piece too is that the website does have, like doorstepdelivery.com has in either the privacy or the terms and conditions language about being added to email lists.
Oh.
Yeah, and so what happens is every so often we'll get one of our branches will get marked as spam. So when that happens, Benchmark pulls, I think it's 5 to 7 email addresses, and we have to prove that we received permission to email those people. Now, the way we do that is if it's our customers' email addresses, what we do is we pull their last order, send that receipt to Benchmark, along with the privacy statement that Chris was just talking about. I think I've told you before where I've said it's not a good idea just to collect email addresses and add them to our lists, is because if we get marked as spam and people were just added willy-nilly, we can't prove that they gave us permission, which means
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
which is why we always want to have some type of proof that we were given permission. Now, for customers, it's easy. I just told you. On partners, again, it's easy because we have a working relationship with them.
Okay, I understand. So restaurants are okay. Are there restaurant email lists inside of this benchmark account, right?
I'll show you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, a whole bunch of restaurant email lists are in here. For example,
wow.
Gainesville restaurants.
Okay. So we got to all restaurants, right? That was a little project I started a couple weeks ago, if you recall, John and Chris. Is this the actual lists right here that we're using to send those surveys?
Let me double check. Let me find one of the restaurant survey emails.
Yeah, no, I can answer it. It is. So when we sent it out, we've sent it out twice so far. We send it to one of those lists. And I was looking at it with Jazzmyne yesterday. I think there's one that I named wrong. Like, I think it says Knoxville something.
Knoxville emails.
Yeah, that should be Russ, but all of those are the different Russ. I sent it all from this account. The only thing that's annoying is that the results come in all bunched together. So I don't get results for each. But then what I do is it does include the email address, so I just separate them out.
Okay. I'm changing the name right now, Chris.
Thank you.
Now, let's take a look at that email, actually. Wow, you actually got a 19% open rate out of that.
Nice. We didn't really get much of a response.
19% link click. Where were the results supposed to go, Chris?
They are. If you go to like the very top tab, there's like a survey section.
I see. Email, you or Pablo?
Me.
Okay. All right, Eric, what other questions you got for me?
I'm trying to think of any that I could throw out there, but not at this time.
All right. Jazzmyne, so once you get your legs under you, I'm sure Eric's going to want you to start looking at some of the additional bells and whistles that
That's good.
including Facebook integration and Google Analytic integration as well.
Oh, yeah. Are there a bunch of blank ones? Yeah.
But does anybody else have any other questions for me? I mean, I realize this was a short webinar, but Benchmark is a really simple program.
I'm good. I don't have any more questions, and if I do, I have no problem asking.
Oh, there's that ad, Google Analytics tracking to all URLs. Oh. John, can you, just out of curiosity, can you turn that on? It's in the lower left-hand corner. I just want to see what it does. What happens when you turn it on? Title for Google Analytics campaign. You will need to have the Google Analytics set up on your website to use this feature. Ooh, more info. Ooh, awesome. Ooh. Okay. I need to look into this. This is on my to-do list today. All right, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that.
Chris, was there anything else you wanted me to cover in this?
Did you look at how to look at open rates?
I did it, but I didn't actually explain it. Sorry about that. Okay, so for the various email list, for the various emails to see how effective they are, all you have to do is click on the title of it. Oh, whoops. I need something. It had to have been sent out already. That's the problem. And then it'll tell you how many emails were sent, how many were unopened, opens, bounces, link clicks, unsubscribes, abuse complaints. Oh, wow, only one abuse complaint. That's awesome. Once you have it integrated with Facebook and Twitter, it'll also have give you social sharing. It'll give you click performance to see where the people's clicks are going. For example, from this email, 5 people went to Miami at doorstep delivery. Someone went to Google to download our app. Someone went to our Facebook page, and someone went to iTunes to download the iPhone app. It'll also show you opens by location, which I've never understood because for some reason Alaska, it's because it's U.S. For some reason it always has opens in various countries that I don't understand why people would be opening. Like, who's opening our email in China? That's all I want to know. Who's opening in Sri Lanka?
I guess those customers are on vacation or something, huh?
You can also change it to hourly to see, obviously when it got originally, as soon as it gets sent out, you're going to have more opens. So this can tell you, how effective are campaigns after the initial send. Most of the time, they are very ineffective after the initial send. They're only going to be effective for about 2-3 hours, and then no one opens them. You can also compare the effectiveness of different email addresses by selecting them. So we can compare the different final campaigns to see, which city actually is giving us the best bang for our buck, or alternatively, you can compare different emails from the same city to see what type of email seems to work best. So we could do Miami, Miami, Miami. And you can see that the 3 emails, there's pretty much no statistical difference between the open rate. The click rate is a little bit better on the finals. Unsubscribes are statistically irrelevant, and bounces are statistically irrelevant.
John, can you go back and show how you did it? I got a phone call from Google. I just told them I'd call them back later. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem at all. So if you want to look at individual emails, all you have to do is go to the email list and just click on the title. But if you want to compare emails, go to Reports, Email Reports, and then just click whichever ones you want to compare.
Oh, cool.
Reports. Now, Jasmine, this isn't so much for you as it is for Eric, but, it's probably helpful you know how to do this too.
Yeah, I remember this in one of the tutorials that I watched yesterday.
I actually haven't watched the tutorials for Benchmark. How are they?
Some are helpful, some aren't. It's this one guy, I forgot his YouTube page, but he went into really good detail. But yeah, it's just a few, and the ones that are actually on Benchmark's website, it's just a quick, maybe 45-second video because, it takes you step by step pretty much through everything.
But the thing is it's so easy to use that there's really not much information you can give unless you're actually doing it. All right, what other questions do you guys have for me?
Well, I was going to say, I know Eric and Jazzmyne are set to talk at 1. Eric, do you want to just stay on this call and keep talking, or do you have other things going on until 1?
Let me check my Google Calendar. No. Lunch break, coffee break, I don't know. No, I'm good. I got a full cup of coffee here. So, yeah, I guess so. Where is my itinerary that Chris sent? Here it is. Yeah, I mean, we can go over... Yeah, John, if you want to hop off, I guess we could just continue if that works for everybody. Or we can take an hour break, however you all want to do it.
Before you decide that, Chris, was there anything else you wanted me to cover?
No, I think that's it. I did record this, so we can go back and watch it if needed. And no, I think we're good.